This is Chris Potter showing us exactly where to go in jazz solo.
I take pieces of ballads and I play them in different keys very, very slowly. I would just pick a ballad phrase, not even the whole thing, you know, a few bars, play it really, really patiently in all different keys, all different registers.
And Frahm that says that sound is not only sound. When the real pros are playing, I believe that there are only a few things on their mind: sound and target notes. Really often when pros are playing, their solos sound like written out music. There's really no difference between the theme, which is written down, or their solos. It sounds equally precise and really to the point. And the reason to this, as I see it, is they have only two focus points: great sound and playing towards all these beautiful target notes they have in their mind. Let's start with this inspiring Frahm interview done by J. Metcalf. So the first thing is how Frahm works on sound. And how he works on sound, he pitches into one of the most important things in learning.
I take pieces of ballads and I play them in different keys very, very slowly.
Only practice what you need in your playing. When playing long tones, when practice your sound, make it applicable.
And I did do long tones. I would pair it with, say, a legato tonguing exercise.
Frahm would take a phrase from a ballad, then play it really slow, but listen to how he sounds, and use this as his sound exercise. So he's working on full sound, great airflow, great phrasing, great sound in both high and low register. When you work on sound, you need to play with a full fat sound and a great airflow. Make sure that you make the horns sound and vibrate, and it's really okay to play loud because you need all this power when you're on the bandstand. You need to know how you want the tones to sound, and you do this by listening to your sound. And for this you need phrasing. You need to phrase the phrase. By the jazz standards, you need to know the lyrics. Why? Because the lyrics tell you what kind of phrase it is.
My heart is sad and lonely.
When you listen to the sentence and listen to the text, it makes much more sense. Play the sentence as if you're speaking it. Another thing you need to do is play the sentence in more registers. Play it down, play it up. You need to sound great both playing low and playing high. And then try this, play the phrase in more keys, because different keys sound different. Frahm is saying more than just play ballads. He's saying
the phrase being a complete gesture, you know, where it has a beginning, a middle, and an end, and it's like they're a tapestry, like they're of a piece.
Play the sentence, make a beginning, a mid, and an end. And this leads us directly into Chris Potter and Sonny Rollins, how they approach target notes. Play the full sentence, play towards the target notes. A target note is like having a goal with your sentence. You want to talk about something. What are you talking about and what's your point? This is the same with when you're playing a sentence. If you have a goal with the sentence, you know where the sentence is going, you know where the phrase is going. If we take a small step back to a less complicated sound than Chris Potter. This line is from Sonny Rollins' tune St. Thomas. And one of the great things about Sonny Rollins is that he's really clear about playing that target note at the end. So what Sonny Rollins is doing, he's basically painting all the chords. He's making it very clear what he's playing, and he's making it very clear where he's going. And this is the definition of playing towards a target note. To build up a strong relations to target notes, there's a simple way you can practice this. We stay in the key of D, and we want to play towards that D from the A7 chord. So play any note on the A7 chord, or chord tones for example. I start rather basic. I'm playing the A to the D. This sound fits the A7 to the D and is simple, so play with full tone. Think about the tone, how you're moving into that D. Now we start embellishing the way from the A to the D by playing the scale down to the D. If we look at how Chris Potter is moving towards his target note, he's using all these intervals and some chromatics too. In the line of the Chris Potter line, I'm thinking about how to play it like him. A7 to D. Play a lot of intervals. So now I'm already breaking up with the direct scale into the target note. I'm playing intervals into the target note, but I'm still hitting that target note. So what I'm telling you is be creative how you move towards the target note. The most important thing is when we are making a sentence, what road do you want to take? Use the tools available. Try a bebop approach. The bebop approach to the target note could look like this, using some chromatics around that D. So what does it take to move towards that target note all the time? You need to hear where the target note is. Train hearing the target note by moving towards different target notes. Here I'm moving towards the F sharp on that D chord. I'm just playing the scale down directly into the F sharp. This is my starting point. I start simple to get used to hearing that target note. You should learn to play towards even the less usual target notes, because these are mostly the ones that sounds the best. Here I'm moving towards the 6 on that D major, the B. In the lesson manual PDF on Patreon, I have made lots of these target note sentences, and they all focus, of course, on moving towards the target note and resolve to any target note in these major chords. Get the exercise and the links in the lesson manual PDF on Patreon. The link is in the description. We have been starting slow by getting a really clear line towards our target notes. Now let's move into more advanced and a bit more chromatic lines. Again, I'm resolving to the F sharp, the 3rd of the D major chord. But you see I'm adding a different approach to the line. Still, I'm just moving into the target note. And the trick is not to go crazy on this, just alter the line towards the target note a little bit, step by step. So I'm keeping the same beginning tone, the A, and then I'm changing the middle part, and then I'm going into the F sharp on the D. Let's try a new example. I changed the sound of the scale to get an altered A7 scale sound. Starting on the A, moving into that F sharp. And here's another one. I start on the A, making a huge contrast by playing the simple A7 chord, and then moving into the altered scale, then moving into the F sharp again. You really want to stick with one phrase because you learn the sound so well. Stick with one phrase, alter it slowly, move towards the same target notes. In this way you get one phrase but 100 different ways of playing it. Okay, let's take it a step further. I want to expand this line by putting an E minor bar on it. I stick to the same method. I'm moving backwards from the F sharp on the D chord, then I'm playing the A on the A chord as the first tone, and then I have the E minor bar. So let's advance a little bit more. I want to show you how to color outside the lines.
Until me and Harvey get the rules straightened out. Rules? In a knife fight? No rules.
Because you really do not need to stick to the rules always. In the line from earlier, he used some chromatic passing tones. When they're chromatic passing tones, they of course lead strongly into these target notes because they are half step away. So add 2 chromatic passing tones, the B flat and the E flat, going into that A and that C sharp. The really nice thing that starts to happen now is that the target notes are coming really natural to me. So I can add these chromatic passing tones wherever I want. The line starts to flow anyway. You get a start, a mid and an end to the line, like what Frahm was talking about. The line becomes an automatic thing that lives its own life, and I can add stuff I have in my vocabulary because I hear these target notes really clear. And now I can start going really outside and add these spicy tones. So what I'm saying is you need to have your sound going, you need to have your phrasing going, and you need to be able to hear the target notes, the mid and the ending, no matter how inside or how far out you play. The most important thing you can do now is develop small lines for yourself, going directly into these target notes. Then expand the line over a longer progression and add more advanced material. And of course, I have already done this for you in the lesson manual PDF on Patreon. Tons of examples on how to get the target note into use by using first small sentences, then longer sentences. Keep it simple in the beginning, but then also using these advanced methods, like adding substitute chords, like adding chromatics. Get the lesson manual PDF on Patreon. The link is right here. A lot of this has to do with hearing what you are playing. So check out the way Chris Potter and Metheny are using their ears to play what they hear. Play music, have fun.